Hey, Brandon here. Welcome to the channel and thanks for tuning in. Got another 2024 rookie mock draft for you here on the channel. In fact, I'm going to be joined by Shane Hallam from the Draft Countdown. He's going to join me for this 3-round mock, and we are going to be using his 7-round mock that he recently dropped on his website. We're in the middle of January, basically, early in the 2024 draft cycle, but nonetheless, we're going to have some fun with this. We got draft capital and landing spots, which you're looking at on the screen right now is the result of his draft, right? I kind of compiled all of the offensive pieces that we're going to be drafting in this mock draft. So take a screenshot, take a look at this, follow along. If you play Dynasty, you play Fantasy, and you're looking for a YouTube channel out there that is going to give you the insight of the 2024 rookie class and beyond, please hit that subscribe button, follow along. We are dropping all sorts of content on here, not just for this draft class, but the 2025 and 2026 to give you an early look at those Dynasty prospects that we love researching, right? All right, he's going to join us right here. Let's get to the draft. All right, everyone, we are back with another 2024 rookie draft. And with me today is Shane Hallam from the Draft Countdown. Shane, thanks for joining me on the YouTube channel.
No, thanks for having me. I'm excited to put my mock into real fantasy work here.
That's right. Yeah. So a new series I got going on the channel here where I'm reaching out. I love mock drafts. I love to watch mock drafts. So when you put them out, I kind of wanted to invite everyone on here to kind of talk about landing spots and from a fantasy perspective. So that's where we're going to go. Because you are, Shane, the guest on the channel, I give you and bless you with the first pick of the draft. So who are you going to pick in the first 2024 rookie pick in this mock today?
With the 101, I'm going to take Caleb Williams, quarterback from USC, going to the Chicago Bears at number 1 overall. I think people are overthinking it if they're trying to move another quarterback over Caleb Williams, or even a Marvin Harrison over Caleb Williams. Like, Caleb Williams is the real deal. The analytical profile for all 3 years is there. If people start trying to talk you out of Caleb Williams, I think you got to run the other way and take him. I think you'll be happy with the pick.
I like it. Well, listen, I think he is going to be arguably the 101 in most rookie mocks. With the 102 pick, I just did a recent mock with Ian Cummings, also another draft analyst. We did a rookie mock, and I took Marvin Harrison Jr. He had him going to the same landing spot. You have him also going to the Cardinals. I'm going to take him here with the second pick in this draft. I took him in the first pick in the other draft with Ian. I think he is the safest prospect. We go back and look at the history of quarterbacks, even though we think they're all going to be really good. The hit rate sometimes isn't as solid wide receivers. So I think Marvin Harrison, we know his skill set. Landing spot is good. Kyle Murray, they need a wide receiver 1 on that team. I think he's the safest pick in all of these rookie drafts. I am taking Marvin Harrison Jr. here with the second pick in the first round going to the Cardinals.
I love it. I think you're right. Safety. If you want safety, Marvin Harrison's it. He's going to be rock solid. So with the 103, I'm going to select Jaden Daniels, quarterback from LSU, going number 2 overall to the Washington Commanders. I think it's going to be a preferential pick between Jaden Daniels and Drake May for NFL teams. I think for fantasy, to me, if they both go in the top 5, if Jaden Daniels does go this high, I think I would prefer the rushing upside of Jaden Daniels. Drake May can certainly move. He's going to pick up some rushing yards. But Jaden Daniels could, we're talking 1,000-yard rushing season potential with what Jaden Daniels brings to the table. I think Daniels has the arm. If Washington brings a Ben Johnson from Detroit, I think that system for Jaden Daniels would be an excellent fit, and he could do really well there.
Yeah, I think that's going to be I agree with you 100%. It's going to be that rushing upside is tantalizing. And he's got a lot of weapons there at Washington. With the 104 pick, I'm going to go with Drake May. He's really the last quarterback before there's a teardrop, and we are playing in a super flex league. So without a doubt, going to the New England Patriots. Looks like we have a new regime at New England. So we've got it's a little bit of the unknown. His pass weapons are not going to be great. But I'm sure they're going to address that in the draft later as well. So I'm going to take the Drake May Superflex. You got to get those quarterbacks early with the 4th pick in the first round going to the Patriots.
The 105, I will take Malik Neighbors, wide receiver from LSU, going to the LA Chargers, number 5 overall in the NFL draft. I think Neighbors is closer to Marvin Harrison than he is to the rest of the
Mhm.
receivers in this group. I think Neighbors can almost do everything extremely well. He can learn kind of how to beat the physical jam. He's going to be unstoppable. Chargers probably have to cut Keenan Allen. You got Justin Herbert. And it's a kind of 105 be a match made in heaven if you don't need a quarterback and you get Neighbors to fall to you.
Yeah, I don't think Neighbors is getting out of the top 5 or 6 in these drafts as well. I love the landing spot you gave him too with the Chargers. They're certainly needing some pass catchers there. With the 6th pick in the first round, I'm going to go with Rome Odunze. I've been a Odunze fan for some time, going to the Indianapolis Colts. All right, I don't know if Michael Pittman is still going to be there. I don't really know what his contract status is, but let's say he is. Even if he isn't, I still like it when these teams have 2 solid wide receivers. It kind of makes them both a little bit more open, I think. But hey, Anthony Richardson's going to come back if he actually pans out in the fantasy dynasty world that we hope, being that big arm to distribute the ball in Indianapolis. Great opportunity. They're still looking for a wide receiver too. Josh Downs can stay in the slot. I know Alex Pierce is there, but give me a Dunze. I think he would slide right into a starting role there with the 6th pick in the first round.
Yeah, I think Alec Pierce is an old regime receiver, and
Yeah,
I think Adunze would fit the Shane Steichen
I
offense
would agree.
better. So, the 107, I'm going to take Brock Bowers, tight end from Georgia, who went to the Cincinnati Bengals in the first round in this mock. I have Bowers falling a little more than most people right now. I love Bowers. I actually like him, I think, more than I think the NFL will, just because he doesn't have the Kyle Pitts, size to be a top 5, top 10 pick.
Mm-hmm.
But the weaponry that Powers would bring to the table with Joe Burrow, they could, have some runs, have some reversals. We've seen Bowers do that at Georgia. The tight end landscape in fantasy is not great, but we're seeing a lot of these young players emerge very early. I think Bowers would be one of those hit immediately in this type of offense.
Yeah, well, hey man, tight ends are back, baby, in fantasy. The last 2 or 3 years, they're making a comeback. So, and this is a tight end premium league kind of we're drafting here, so that makes sense. I don't see Bowers getting out of the first half of the first round in the majority of mocks. So I love that pick. And I love the landing spot going to the Bengals as well. With the 8th pick in the first round, I'm going to go with Troy Franklin. He's currently my wide receiver 3 right now. Going to the Kansas City Chiefs. So you got to love the landing spot. You got to love the quarterback. Got to love the opportunity. Rashee Rice seems to be emerging there, but I don't think anyone else there on that team, they've really figured it out. So they're going to swing again with another wide receiver. Troy Franklin, I think, is a twitchy. He's just made for what the NFL is looking for right now in wide receivers. He's twitchy. He can get open, good route runner. He's explosive, can win vertical, good yak ability. Some may question his physicality, but I think he's got enough to be a solid wide receiver 2 on a team. Love the landing spot. So I'm going to go with Franklin here with the 8th pick.
At the 109, I'm going to take Braylon Allen, running back from Wisconsin, going to the Cincinnati Bengals in the second round. Allen was the first running back selected in this mock, and I think the size and speed factor, plus showcasing the receiving ability finally this year in the Luke Fickell offense, is going to help Braylon Allen be more well-liked by the NFL than I think the fantasy community right now. But Joe Mixon seemed to be on the outs as it was. Like Allen steps in there with Chase Brown and immediately takes that job, has the potential to score a ton of goal line touchdowns and even get some receiving work. So I know running back, people don't like the running back class. I think it's a little underrated right now. And I think Allen would be a full-time starter in the NFL if he lands here.
Yeah, I think if he gets that draft capital, people are going to get excited about it. That landing spot's pretty phenomenal too. With the 10th pick in the first round, I'm going to take Jonathan Brooks. I'm right behind you with a running back. This is assuming obviously his ACL injury is 100% and he comes back and there's no change in his play style because of it. Going to the Houston Texans, which you've got to love. The landing spot. I think Dameon Pierce is kind of an old regime that you just kind of mentioned before. And Devin Singletary is really having a nice season, but Jonathan Brooks was, in my top 3 RBs, heading into the draft. Landing spot. I want any piece I can get of that Houston Texans offense. I think the arrow on that team is straight up, and Brooks I think could come in and have immediate opportunity to take the majority of carries in that backfield.
At the 111, I'm going to take Brian Thomas Jr., wide receiver from LSU, was selected 14th overall to the New Orleans Saints. Thomas is another player I think the NFL is going to like more than the fantasy community does right now. Led the nation in touchdowns, big, rangy, good recruiting profile, gets off the line fast for his size and length. I think Brian Thomas fills that kind of Michael Thomas role and is a nice pairing with Chris Olave. Ultimately, Thomas could be a big, touchdown slant guy.
I love it. I think he's my wide receiver 4 right now. I love Brian Thomas Jr. He just excelled at LSU this year, kind of in the shadows of Malik Neighbors, but he's a name I think, like you said, is going to rise more and more as we head to the NFL draft. To finish out the first round with the 12th pick in the first round, I'm going to go with Xavier Worthy. Love your landing spot here with the Bills. I'll tell you. You love it when you got a skill player going to the Bills, right? I think Diggs isn't getting any younger. You got the big arm with Josh Allen and Xavier Worthy. That speed, everyone knows about his speed. Yeah, he's had some drops throughout his career, but he's a twitchy athlete. I do have concerns about his physical play, at least in the vertical game on 50-50 balls, but he's going to be used getting the ball, I think, in his hands early in the play design and letting him, use that speed to create explosive offensive plays, and will be a vertical threat that Josh Allen will have the arm to get him the ball. Expect a lot of explosive plays if he were to land in Buffalo. That rounds out the first round with Worthy going to the Buffalo Bills.
At the 201, I'm going to take Michael Penix Jr., quarterback from Washington, going to the Minnesota Vikings in the second round. It was tough choice here between this pick and who you're going to pick next to me, but I think Penix has the NFL arm. I think I would like this fit in Kevin O'Connell's offense. We saw what Matthew Stafford has done, where you don't necessarily need to be a run around, type of quarterback. Penix has Justin Jefferson, he has Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson, he gets the ball to those guys. I think the upside is there, even as more of a pocket passer for Penix.
Yeah, that I'll tell you, his mechanics and footwork scare the living bejesus out of me. But anyway, you got to like the landing spot. Second round draft capital going to Minnesota. I certainly understand the pick in a super flex league. I'm going to, like you said, right behind you with the second pick in the second round. I'm going to take Bo Nix going to Atlanta. Love the landing spot. New regime coming into town. They've got weapons galore. I love quarterbacks who go to situations with solid running back, because I think a running back is a best friend. I would actually like to see Bo Nix sit for an entire year, then bring in like a Kirk Cousins or another, veteran for the upcoming season, and let him marinate on the bench for a year to really, understand the playbook. I think most quarterbacks should take that path, and actually, no matter where you're drafted. But I like Bo Nix. I think I love his story, coming from Auburn, goes to Oregon, resurrects his draft stock. I mean, in the Devy community 3 years ago, he was like worthless. Getting round 2 draft capital, going to an organization that is, I think, got a lot of weapons to help him succeed. I'm going to take Nix here with the second pick in the second round.
With the 203, I'm going to take Trey Benson, running back from Florida State, going to the Arizona Cardinals in the third round. I think Benson has a ceiling that he hasn't hit yet. Not the best year I was expecting more from him, but the athleticism, the short area footwork is there. I think Benson, with a little better offensive line play, could have done something this year. And I think the Cardinals is a good spot. It might take a year, but we saw them really commit to the run. We saw James Conner have success. I think Benson's a future starter if he gets drafted to the Cardinals.
Yeah, I think I love that landing spot you gave him. I think that is a good spot, really good spot. And I really like the spot you picked for my next player. I've been a Blake Corum guy ever since his freshman year at Michigan with the 4th pick in the second round. I'm taking him. You have the delightful landing spot going to the Green Bay Packers. So he may play behind Aaron Jones. I think Aaron Jones might have one more year left. I've never been an A.J. Dillon guy, so I think Blake Corum could come in there, split carries with, that backfield. And, that is an offense that is on the rise. A lot of young players on that offense. Love to see. I can see Blake Corum in Golden Green.
The 205, I am taking Keon Coleman, wide receiver for Florida State, who went to the Carolina Panthers with the first pick in the second round. I think Coleman's a little bit overrated. He had a couple that big game against LSU to start, and it's like Keon Coleman. We've been waiting, and then he has these games where he did nothing all year. I hope someone uses him creatively, gets him in some slant situations, just quick open. Let Keon Coleman do things after the catch. Carolina, I fell into the trap with Jonathan Mingo with just draft capital. I think Coleman has more talent. New regime's going to be coming in there. If they're going to get to handpick their wide receiver one, I'll take the shot that Bryce Young bounces back and this offense is better.
Like it. So I'm going to pick with the sixth pick, one of my favorite receivers in the draft, Lad McConkey, going to a great spot. Yeah, I'm going to the Dallas Cowboys. As an Eagles fan, I hate the Cowboys, but this is for fantasy. Not going to let my personal feelings get in the way, but I think Lad McConkey arguably is one of the best route runners in this class. You have him getting draft capital of round 2, which is fantastic. Wouldn't be surprised if he snuck into round 1, but I think he's underrated. He's a true junior headed to the NFL. The guy can run routes. He's tough. He's physical. I think he's one of the smartest wide receivers too. You listen to Kirby Smart talk about him. He's like head and shoulders, just understands the playbook, understands how to take advantage of defenses and what he sees on the field. Love his game. I think he's going to be a great possession receiver on our dynasty rosters. That's who I'm taking with the 6th pick going to the Cowboys.
Yeah, just going to be a PPR monster somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Just get him that ball, 10 targets a game.
Yeah.
With the 207, I'm going to take J.J. McCarthy, quarterback for Michigan, going to the Denver Broncos in round 3. I obviously think his draft capital is lower than he thinks, and other people think at this point, having him go in the 3rd round. But even being a top 100 pick, going to so many teams need a quarterback. Denver, Russell Wilson's going to be gone. Sean Payton's there. I think, like you said with Bo Nix, I think McCarthy has to sit for a year. He makes some incredible NFL throws and then follows it up with one of the worst throws I've ever seen. You just need to get that consistency, and I think McCarthy has the tool set to maybe be a reliable quarterback. So in super flex, towards the end of the 2nd round, I'm willing to take some shots on day 2 quarterbacks.
Yeah, and then we're playing in a super flex league, right? So you never know. You just never know. Middle, late 2nd round, that's when you start taking those secondary tier 2, tier 3 quarterbacks. With the 8th pick in the 2nd round, I'm going to take Bucky Irving. Again, one of my favorite running backs in this class. Love the landing spot on the Chargers, and hopefully it's an exciting offense next year. I don't know what happened to him this year, but Bucky Irving, I think, is what the NFL's looking for. You gave him, round 4 draft capital. I could see possibly him getting into, round 3. But nonetheless, this guy could be a PPR monster. I think he's got enough physicality to run in between the tackles if you need a back to play in a game or two to take the load. But as we know, the running back position in the NFL is going committee. And I think he'll just be part of a rotation. But I think he's an offensive weapon that can be used all over the field out of the backfield. I think he had over 50 catches this year alone. I think he's got great footwork, short area quickness, and that's kind of what the NFL I think is looking for. Is we've seen some of these smaller backs like James Cook succeed and Achane. Bucky Irving kind of fits that smaller mold. Kyron Williams, another one right now who's excelling at about the same size. So don't sleep on Bucky Irving. Going to the Chargers here with the 8th pick is who my selection is.
At the 209, I'm going to take Devontae Walker, wide receiver for North Carolina, going to the Detroit Lions in round 2. I love Tez Walker. I think the Senior Bowl, he is going to be the buzz like Tank Dell was, just getting open every route and catching everything.
I like it.
We saw Josh Reynolds be a fantasy asset if Tez Walker takes that role in the slot. Jameson Williams, I think that ship is kind of sailing away, and Tez Walker can be the extra weapon that the Lions need.
Yeah, I like it. With the 10th pick in the 2nd round, I'm going with Xavier Legette going to the Patriots. All right. Drake May is there now. He is going to need a weapon to lean on. This guy's a size speed freak, super fast, super big. Do I have a concern that he's like a late riser and a kind of a late producer in his college football career? Yeah, he's played 4 or 5 seasons, and this year is really when he exploded and hasn't done much during his whole college career. So yes, there is a concern, but if he does get round 2 draft capital, plays with Drake May, has that size speed combo here late in the 2nd round, great value here with the 10th pick. I'm taking Legette going to the Patriots.
At the 211, I'm going to take Jalen Wright, running back from Tennessee, going to the Baltimore Ravens in round 3. I think Wright's athletic ability is probably going to be the most highest RAS running back perhaps in this class. Size speed combination is off the charts. Very successful year in the SEC, and the Ravens desperately need that lead running back. So if he gets this capital, I think he's underrated right now. He'll be a late riser through the process.
Yeah, let's hope he can Get away from the Baltimore Ravens injury bug, right? All right.
Yeah, the
So
curse.
the curse, rather, right. So with the last pick in the second round, I'm going to take Jatavian Sanders going to the Washington Capitals. All right. So Jaden Daniels is there. There's some other weapons. I think it's a great landing spot. Jatavian Sanders is really tight end two for the majority of draft people I see out there. And I think for you as well, he got round two draft capital. So athletic guy, this guy is a great blocker. I've been watching Bijan Robinson, Roshan Johnson, Jonathan Brooks, and this guy is a great block. I think he's a above average blocker, athletic enough to be a pulling with the guards and helping out in the run game. But he's got some of the best hands in the tight end class that I see. He's got really good hands. Maybe not the biggest route runner and space creator, but big and physical, and should be a solid tight end on our dynasty rosters.
At the 301, I'm going to take Adonai Mitchell, wide receiver from Texas, going to the New York Giants in the second round. This would be another receiver kind of like the Giants already have, but that seems to be the way they like to build that offense and that team. So I think it could be a good fit. He could be the best receiver on the roster. Maybe something emerges from there.
All right, with the second pick in the third round, I'm going with Jalen McMillan. I think people are a little, forgetting about Jalen McMillan with the Roma Dunze hype and the fact that he was hurt all year. But this is a good route runner. Maybe not the most physical wide receiver, man, but I think he has the ability to get open all over the field. He lands with the Houston Texans in your mock. I love that. He gets round three draft capital, Shane, on your mock draft, and I want every piece of that offense with CJ Stroud. They're going to need. I think Roberts Woods is going to be moving on soon. Love the fit with McMillan going to the Houston Texans. Bravo for that landing spot you gave him.
At the 303, I'm going to take Audric Estime, running back from Notre Dame, going to the Minnesota Vikings in round 4. Minnesota, Alexander Madison isn't it. They need to inject that running back room with some power, someone with some good vision. I think Estime has that. Might take a little bit to get going, but I like the fit. And right now, early round 4 for me, well worth taking running backs getting that kind of draft capital.
Yeah, that's the running back round 1 now, right?
Right. It's become really.
Yeah, it's become right. So with the fourth pick in the third round, I'm going to go with Jalen Polk, going to the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers have a history of drafting and using their wide receivers. Quarterback room is up in the air a little bit, which isn't the best, but Jalen Polk, I love him, is a great possession receiver. Some of the best hands in the class, physical, versatile. I love his game. A lot of people watch Roma Dunze, but if you have the chance, I got 3 or 4 videos of Polk on this YouTube channel. Go check him out. I think he could be a riser as we head to the NFL draft.
At the 305, I'm going to take Jacob Cowing, wide receiver for Arizona, going to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in round 3. Another Senior Bowl receiver. Bucks have some free agents coming up in that receiving group, so I think Cowing could maybe step in and become a starter there.
Yeah, I love that pick. I think when we were doing this, I was telling you he was going to be the guy I took, and I think I took Polk that you were
Yeah,
thinking
you
about
sniped
too.
me on Polk. So
Yeah, so we're kind of in the same place, but I'm not going to lie. All right, Shane, I'm outraged. You gave one of my favorite wide receivers with the 6th pick in the third round. Malachi Corley is one of my favorite receivers in this draft. I think he offers something different than all the 6'3", 6'2", 210-pound wide receivers we have at the top of this draft class. You gave him going to the horrible Titans. How dare you put one of my favorite players going to the Titans? Just going to throw that out there. But I'm going to be drafting Malachi Corley in every rookie draft that I have. I love this guy's physicality. He's a running back in a wide receiver kind of role. You want to talk about a guy that you can put all over the place, all over the field. You can run him out of the backfield, do sweeps. I mean, his yak ability. And I feel sorry for any defensive back that is squarely on a one-on-one physical battle with Malachi Corley, because I think they will lose. That's how much I like this guy.
Love it. At the 307, I'm going to take Kendall Milton, running back from Georgia, going to the Carolina Panthers in round 5. Miles Sanders signing didn't work out. Chuba Hubbard, I think, is limited. Milton, kind of an old Devy darling that reemerged this year. So I think Milton could be one of those Dameon Pierce type tough inside running backs.
Yeah, he certainly has the size, right? With the 8th pick in the 3rd round, I'm gonna go with Roman Wilson. You have him going to the Jets, another really good landing spot. Now, I'm taking him here with the assumption that Aaron Rodgers is gonna play for a couple more seasons, and that wide receiver room is bare. All right, so it's really only one wide receiver that we care about on the Jets, and I think everybody else, it is wide open. So I could see Roman Wilson. You gave him round 3 draft capital, which is great. Really had a really nice season at Michigan. Really just, again, could win vertical, get the ball in his hands. Lacks the physicality a little bit, but man, great opportunity, great hands catcher. I like him here. I think it's a good value with the 8th pick in the 3rd round.
The 309, I'm going to take Will Shipley, running back from Clemson, going to the San Francisco 49ers in the 4th round. I think they want a backup, stronger backup running back to Christian McCaffrey. I'll take that shot here in the late 3rd. McCaffrey gets hurt. Certainly seen that game before. And boom,
Mhm.
Shipley has an opportunity in one of the best offenses in the league. I like stashing that on my bench.
That's a great pick. I mean, you're absolutely right. Who doesn't want a piece of the San Francisco offense, right? So the 10th pick in the 3rd round, I'm going to take Marshawn Lloyd going to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'd like Marshawn Lloyd. Before he tore his ACL when he was a freshman, it kind of derailed his career a little bit, but went to USC, kind of resurrected his career a little bit. But I think he's got some really good shiftiness in his footwork and his lateral ability. And I'm not the biggest Rashad White guy and fan, so uh, going to Tampa Bay, I'm going to take him here with the 10th pick.
At 311, I'm going to take Spencer Rattler, quarterback from South Carolina, going to the Las Vegas Raiders in round 4. I think Spencer Rattler could be better than Aiden O'Connell, and that might be the bar for year 1 for the Raiders if they don't address the position elsewhere. So, once again, super flex. I'll take the shot on Rattler. Former 5-star recruit, has some talent, but needs it between the ears to really go well for him.
Yeah, he's a tough player too. He's a really tough player. I'm going to follow up and end this 3-round mock, Shane, with a quarterback myself. I am going to take Michael Pratt. You have him going to the New York Giants. They'll probably stay with Daniel Jones because they've got that contract for a year or two. Michael Pratt can marinate on the bench and maybe be something. But Tulane, 4-year starter, Tulane. If you look at his stats, he increases completion percentage every year for 4 straight seasons. Love his game too. So you never know. It's a super flex league. And, here at the end of the 3rd round, you got to gobble up those quarterbacks. So, hey, Shane, I want to thank you for jumping on the channel. That was awesome. Appreciate the hard work that you do in the draft community. Go check out Shane's work at the, what is it called? The Draft Countdown. Is that the
Yeah,
website?
draftcountdown.com. Everything's free, so head on over, check it out.
All right. Thanks, guys, for watching. And the draft will be here very soon. Thanks for watching.